Hi, I'm Americ. This is the UBL, the United Battling League, I'm pretty sure. The United Battling League, acronym UBL because, from ultra hardcore, UBL, it's a funny. If you don't get it, then you clearly don't have any sense of humour. United Battling League has 12 players playing in a round-robin style tournament. The link to the 11 other players will probably be in the description below. Make sure to check them out, all that good stuff. Should also mention, this is recorded well after the battle occurred, mainly because I am not too happy with how that turned out, because I was too quiet throughout the whole thing. Pretty much everything was a whisper, and that's not really too good at all. Have I covered everything I've wanted to talk about? I'm looking at my tower script. Yes, I have. Let's go into the team build. Alright, start off, we have a Mega Swampert, Swift Swim, full moves Earthquake, that's not Earthquake, that's Waterfall, Earthquake, Ice Punch, Superpower, physically offensive Fast Sweeper, take advantage of Swift Swim in the rain, Waterfall, Earthquake, Stab, Ice Punch is coverage, deal with the poke, we should talk about later, and Superpower. Chose Overpower Punch because it wasn't too useful. As much as, killing something, getting that attack boost is good, I just wanted solid damage with Superpower. Nickname Popeye because look how built he is, those arms. Need I say more? I don't think I do. Next pick of my team, Verathorn, Rocky Helmet, Iron Barbs, so much in recoil, literally so much. I believe it's about 28% per physical hit. That's gonna sting. There's a Gyro Ball because Verathorn is very slow, minus speed nature makes him slower. Gyro Ball, more damage when I'm much slower than my opponent, so that's good. Stealth Rock, Leech Seed and Thunder Wave. Sorry about that, I'm terribly ill at the moment. Well, not too terribly, I just have a bad cough. As I said, Stealth Rock, Leech Seed, Thunder Wave, just to generally irritate my opponent with status and Stealth Rocks, as well as whittling them away with the Leech Seed. Nickname Barbie Girl because Barbs, I like puns. Need I say more? I've probably said that too much, even though I've only said it 2 times. Let's move on. Thunderous, third pick. He has a Damp Rock to go with Prankster, to go with Rain Dance, so I get a priority Rain Dance up for 8 turns. Thunder, 100% accurate in the rain. Hidden Power Ice to hit poke we shall talk about later. Volt Switch to pivot out. Especially offensive. Speed, fast special sweeper, though doesn't get used for that in this game, but oh well. And the nickname. I got this right the last time, so hopefully I should get it right this time. This time he is Dabba Dee Dabba Da. And why is he called that? Because I'm blue, Dabba Dee Dabba Da, da Dabba Dee Dabba Da da. You get the idea. Moving on. This is my 4th pick. Kabutops, Life Orb, Swift Swim. Massive damage in the rain when combined with Aqua Jet and Waterfall. Hits like a motherfucking truck. Stone Edge also covers his stab, and X-Scissor also covers the Pokemon I'm going to be having problems with on his team. Max attack, max speed, because I want him to be as fast as he can be. I won't go into anything else. Nickname, and his name is... It should be pretty obvious what I clicked before making this team. 5th Pokemon, Galvantula. Now, you probably won't normally see a Galvantula scarfed. It's mainly to deal with the big threat on his team that what I felt was the big threat on his team for me. Again, he also has Rain Dance to, well, cover for when Thunderous is not around. Compound Eyes is good with Thunder for outside of the rain if you want to drop one. Bug Buzz and Sticky Web. Stab and Sticky Web to drop the speed. I won't say anything about the battle. Max speed, max special attack. There isn't really anything else it would go into. Nickname is Oh No's Scary Bug because Oh No's, it's a scary bug. I mean, look at that face. Does that look like the face of Mercy to you? Last choice, Hariyama Assault Vest. That's gonna be my special wall. I've probably got a better special wall, however, I chose Hariyama over it. Guts, over... What am I looking for? Thick Fur, I just think it's going to be more useful. I just thought it was going to be more useful because this is recorded way after. Fake Out and Bullet Punch, if I need to whittle them down with priority. Close Combat is Stab. Knock Off if I want to knock off an item. Yeah. Max HP, max attack. Well, that was the recommended spread. I don't have anything more for that. That's pretty much the whole reason for most of these dudes. EVs was just a recommended spread. I think I changed it around a little bit with a few. Nickname is Mr. Fister because he's a male, and look at those hands. Yeah. Alright. Now I shall move over to the draft pick. This is the week 2 draft, however none of Jinko's team has changed since the first week. He has a Dragonite, a Superior, a Curin Black, and I should probably not let Curse get in the way. Oh look, you can't see the Azelf. The Mega Ampharos, the Lucario, the Chloritza, Typhlosion, Dugtrio, Weezing, Vivillon, and Miltank. Now, the 2 Pokemon that I was most scared of, one in particular being Superior, because Contrary is scary when tied up with Leaf Storm. It's not nice having them buff their special attack by 2 stages every turn. That's not fun. And also the Curin Black was also a bit scary for me. So pretty much that's why my team is a bit catered towards the Superior with Thunderous with Power Ice, Kabutops with X-Scissor, and Scarfed Galvantula because I want it to hopefully outspeed it. I anticipated him bringing, a Life Orb one? You'll have to wait till the match to see if that's what he brought. Speaking of the match, let's get to it. Make sure the music is off so I don't have to redo this. Sorry about that. I shall cut that out. As I'm pretty sure I mentioned it before, if not, I have a cold, so yeah, fun times. Put it down to really slow. I shouldn't need it really slow because the last time I did it, really slow was, as its name says, really slow. So, let's get on with the battle. Music's off, that's good. Looking at all that now, Azelf is the only lead because Azelf is normally the lead Pokemon. Send out my Galvantula, and I want to get that thing off the field as quick as I can, give myself an advantage, go for a Bug Buzz. It is sashed, so I'll have to finish it off next turn. And I shall outspeed slow. He goes for Stealth Rock, so I don't have anything to spin it away. I go for another Bug Buzz, I finish off his Azelf. That puts me in a good spot. I am 1 up, no damage to myself, except for the Stealth Rocks. Seeing the Dragonite, I switch out. I anticipated the Fire Punch from him, which doesn't make sense because I went into Ferrothorn. However, he just goes for an extreme speed instead and takes 28% in recoil from the Iron Barbs and the Rocky Helmet. know why I stayed in. I know I wanted to go for T-Wave to catch, well, to try and paralyse the Dragonite, or in the case what happens, something whatever came in. Now that Typhlosion is in, I switch out because I don't want to take a fire move, and now I decide that now is the ideal time to Mega Evolve with Swampert, just to get that Swift Swim up, so I don't have to worry about doing that later. I go for an Earthquake. I don't know why the switch into Serperior was obvious. I should have gone for a Ice Punch. Alright, I'll pause it here. Here is where we learned that Jinko has problems with his team. What happened was his team was reset, and so he had to make it again, but he didn't make it correctly. As you can see, the Superior should have had Contrary, where the only ability it could have had is Overgrow. So yeah, it's not a slight problem, it's a really large problem on his part. Also learned that much later the problem is a bit more serious than that. So he switches out because he's at half. I go for a close combat because I want to hit that thing or whatever switches in as hard as I can. Come on now, switch over. Goes for a Roost, regain that health as I go for a knock off that item. I learn it as a weakness policy, which it doesn't really affect Harry Armor because he doesn't have any moves that are super effective against it. As he Dragon Dances, I go for another close combat, I knock him down really low, and I'm thinking that I can probably knock him out with a Bullet Punch, which is the case. So no Dragonite sweeping me today. Not that would have happened because I have enough priority to deal with it, hopefully. I decide to sack my Harry Armor here. I could have gone into something else, however, I could have gone into Ferrothorn, however I was scared by Norasphere. I take this opportunity to go into my Ono, Scary Bug, my Galvantula, and drop Thunder on whatever comes in. He brings in the Zampharos, so it's not going to be doing too much, it only does a quarter. Resisted hit. I switch out right now, I go into my Ferrothorn because I resist both of his main form of stabs, because he, in this turn, will Mega Evolve. So I resist Dragon and I resist Electric. And he goes for Cotton Guard, and that really scares me because all my dudes are physically offensive. Goes for a Thunderbolt, he paralyzes me, that kind of helps, but it also doesn't as I set up a Leech Seed. It begins just to whittle him down slowly, and I should be back now. Sorry about that. I just lost my train of thought completely. Hi Soccer Holland, you have joined. Alright. So what was it? I get paralysed while going for Stealth Rocks, and then I go for it again. I'm continually getting Leech Seed back while whittling him down. He reveals Rest and heals himself back up to full. As I go for a Gyro Ball, I don't know why, I do absolutely nothing. He has two. It's resisted and his defense is sky high. I make a silly play of trying to go for it again. Why would I? Sorry. I mean, it's just a silly play in general. I really should on that turn have gone out into Thunderous, but I make it the turn after, so and I go for the Hidden Power Ice to hit him. A super effective move. Come on now. Unfortunately, it's not enough to knock him out, and he wakes at this turn. I take a lot of damage from the Thunderbolt, manage to live it slightly, get some slight regen from the Leech Seed, and I make a misplay. I should have gone for another Hidden Power Ice, however I set the range intending to sack it and go into something else just to finish it off. Considering I have priority, I really should have stayed. Anywho, I go into, and his name is the Kabutops, go for an Aqua Jet to finish him off. Now, yeah, just waiting for it to catch up. He brings in his Serperior, I go for the X-Scissor, hoping to outspeed him in the rain, and he is scarfed, which which is a problem because now he outspeeds everything on my team. So yeah, I go into my Galvantula. Luckily I resist the Giga Drain, bug typing, and I go for a Bug Buzz. From 100%, this isn't a clean KO, so it's good that he's down a little bit, the little bit that he is, because it probably guarantees it from there. At this point I don't see any more use for my Galvantula, so I just go for another Bug Buzz just for the damage on the Clawitzer. And now I can just bring in my Mega Swampert and finish off the last two Pokemon with a Waterfall each. So yep, the Clawitzer goes down, brings in his Typhlosion, and again another Waterfall will seal the deal, and that is the end of the first match of week 1. I didn't need to pause there, oh well. It is here that he also learns that none of his Pokemon have any, not abilities, natures either. So yeah, Showdown resetting his team really screwed him over. Offered to redo the match considering what has happened. That offer is still available to you, Jinko, if you want to take it. However, yeah. That aside, that is the end of week 1. Gives me my first win, puts me 1-0 up in the league. You can see the round 2 results. Yeah, it's recorded well after, so similar round 2 matches have already occurred, as you can see. Those are the wins. Puts me 1-0 up. My next match is against Vernon, who, out of all the people here, has the most experience and is also the most terrifying in my eyes to face, because I have a feeling he's going to do horrible things to me. Right. With that said, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week in week 2, where I shall face off against Vernon and probably lose. So, oh well. See you then.